Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast in a game between NosAriGaDDo versus Zenextreme. I believe that's how you say his name. Here on Dual Site. Extreme spawning as the blue Protoss player at what I'll call the 3 o'clock position. Meanwhile, we have NosAriGaDDo spawning as the red Zerg, and I apologize if I'm butchering his name. I totally do not want to, but that just may be happening. One thing I wanted to check, did they fix this? Oh, apparent. I don't know if they actually fixed that. Anyways, before, during the beta, you could tell when a player spawned in a certain location, at least a Zerg player, because the creep would go up against the trees and kill them. And you just looked on the map for any dead trees, and when you found dead trees, you're like, hey, that's where the Zerg player spawned. Now, let's take a look into this game. This is on Dual Site, and Dual Site is one of those maps that is very wide open. So Zerg players can normally do a lot of flanking, and because of that just openness, Zerglings are very powerful on the map, especially with metabolic boost and very good creep spread as they move around rather quickly. It looks as though we are going into an extractor first coming in from the Zerg. So it will be an extractor pool for early metabolic boost, and it will be up to Extreme to figure out how to defend this, as he is opening up with that standard gateway on the front door, followed most likely by a cybernetics core, a zealot, and then a sentry. Now, I have seen Zerg or Protoss players try to forge fast expand on Dual Site, but the map just doesn't really work out well. It does take some really clever positioning, and unless you are very familiar with the map, then things often don't work out well, as Zerglings are able to put in pressure and figure out how to take down the pylons and the gateways, or even deal damage to the nexus while staying outside the range of those photon cannons. Cybernetics core now being added. You can see that a hatchery could be placed down momentarily. It doesn't look like it, as instead he's going to be going into a queen and then 4 Zerglings as a zealot now being added. So the Zerglings are just going to be able to push away this probe, and most likely a drone will come down at the same time. The timing should be just that. The Zerglings appearing in time to take down the probe, but the probe, knowing the timing as well, decides to warp in a pylon to delay. There will be a little bit of loss in terms of resources, as that pylon most likely will get cancelled. And now finally the drone appears. No real building time lost. The probe is currently hiding on the bottom side. Zerglings now scouring the field, looking for that probe. He's gonna try to find it, and it looks like he may come across it, especially if that probe takes a half a step to his, or I guess that would be to his right. No, that to his left. As now the Zergling is now going to chase after that probe there. The probe will be able to get back inside the base though, and see exactly that a hatchery has been placed down, and we'll see what's going to go on next. The Zergling's metabolic boost will be completed in 20 seconds. That probe, if it stands on creep, will fall much more quickly as the probe simply gets taken out, and a second queen has already been added. Creep tumor being placed down, as it's going to transfer and connect these two bases, as the Zerg player will be running on 2 bases momentarily. Meanwhile, Extreme taking the opportunity to get some sentries. It looks like he went for a 1-gate expand. Yeah, it was a 1-gate expand off of double assimilators, a very common strategy, as you're able to constantly train sentries while which are perfect for defense while expanding, since sentries don't cost that many minerals. So if you think about it this way, off of 1 base, I believe you're able to gather about 800 minerals a minute. You only need to spend 100 minerals a minute on sentries. More 200 gas, but 100 minerals on sentries. That allows you to get this nexus up, and then also get in the necessary gateways, as we are also going into a Stargate. The Stargate will not be scouted out for quite some time, as we are also going into a Roach Warren. The sentries are going to be playing a very critical role in this defense. The Zerglings don't want to try to engage, and by the time the roaches arrive, we may see a Void Ray out. Yes, 1 Void Ray already being trained. It is being chrono boosted. 2 chrono boost essentially gets a Void Ray out in 40 seconds as opposed to 60. really shaving off time on the production as a pack of Zerglings still sit outside that front door. It looks like a second Chrono Boost was added as well. We may see another Void Ray being added as the Sentries and the Zealots finish off a couple of those Zerglings. The Zealot didn't even really take any true damage as those shields will recharge and recharge rather quickly. The Void Ray now on the hunt, looking for that Scouting Overlord that all Zerg players place here on Dual Site, and that Overlord will be destroyed. Not supply blocking NosAriGaDDo, as NosAriGaDDo knew that Overlord was not going to stay there for very long. Queens are now being added once more, as NosAriGaDDo does need more anti-air. He is going into an evolution chamber, should be able to get some spine or spore crawlers out, as we are also going into a Phoenix. The Phoenixes are being added, but they are being parked off on the top right hand side of the map, hidden, and they will be perhaps playing another day, as a second Overlord may get sniped down as well by this Void Ray. Void Ray already up to 2 kills, should be able to get this third kill rather easily. Another Overlord taken down, as Queens now make their way over to deal some damage, but not much is done. Void Ray still hunting and looking for more units. A Zealot now going to engage against a Zergling. The Zealot will easily win that war, as 2 Phoenixes finish off this Void Ray that was parked over here. So NosAriGaDDo is supply blocked. 70 over 68. He needs to train up some more larva, as Phoenix is now making their way over. And is this going to be enough? 2 Phoenixes getting a Graviton Beam in. It looks like one Void Ray, one Queen may get taken out. This Queen down over here, is it going to be enough? Trying to finish off more of these units. The Void Ray is very low on hit points. It needs to get Graviton Beamed again. A second Queen now destroyed, and this may be all 3 Queens. So 3 Queens quickly destroyed by Zenextreme, and that Void Ray has dealt a lot of damage to the production of Zerg. No Queens out. A Queen now trying to make its way over. That has to be very careful. There's only 1 Queen there. It may end up getting Graviton Beamed. No, it is not going to get Graviton Beamed, as the Queen or the Void Rays or the Phoenix is now deciding to back away. It looks like the Spore Crawlers were not able to really provide any true anti-air, as there is now 1 Zealot sitting at a Xel'Naga tower. How is it surviving? I'm not quite sure. No weapons upgrade, as the Zealot did get some easy damage there. It looks like 1 unit is down. Another is going to get taken down, as the Zealot parks itself in a corner, minimizing its surface area and being able to deal a lot of damage again. The Queen is back over here. I believe that Spore Crawler is a bit too far away, and another Queen will get destroyed, and now all of these Overlords may be in trouble as well. So Overlord after Overlord now getting destroyed down over here. There was 1 Spore Crawler parked underneath all of those Overlords, as the Phoenixes do decide to back off. And now we see the tech change into a robotics facility. Zerglings making their way out across the field. A Void Ray able to force a cancellation on the hatchery. The drone does return home. Queens are not anywhere nearby in order to push any pressure onto that Void Ray, as that Void Ray sitting very, very proud with 7 kills already at this stage. 5 Phoenixes. An Observer now making its way out, as Zenextreme tries to transition into a large ground army. He's dealt a lot of harassment damage, but if he doesn't transition very well, he will soon find that all the harassment in the world doesn't matter if you don't actually destroy a lot of units. There in comes a fungal growth. It looks like the Phoenix will be able to back off just in time. The fungal growth didn't hit enough Phoenixes there to really spawn any infested Terrans, as the Phoenixes now simply retreat. Zerglings are checking out the third base. Zenextreme does have a 25 or 20 food advantage. Zerglings so far able to run away from all of those stalkers, as there is, I believe, yes, 1 burrowed Zergling preventing a Nexus from being warped in, and we'll see what comes of that, as we now have the Phoenixes once again trying to re-engage. Infestors are burrowed, very importantly, as the Phoenixes could easily pick them up and allow the other Phoenixes to snipe them down. Now, we'll see what these Infestors are able to do. 6 Infestors do rack up a lot of damage, especially if you're able to get off those fungal growths and perhaps minimize the concaves and get those Zealots out of position. If the Zealots are not engaging, then the Zealots will not really be dealing that much damage, as what is happening here? It looks like the Colossi was trying to find the Zergling and get some splash damage there, but not working out. And oh, takes down his own Stalker, so a little bit of a misclick there as Roaches are now trying to engage. And wow, that was a really, really bad push as Infestors are now trying to push their way in. A lot of infested eggs are going to be hatching here in just a moment. There you go. Infestors now pushing back. Roaches unable to really burrow through, though, as what are all of these Infestors doing besides being exposed to photon cannons and getting destroyed? And what, Extreme just completely dominating this battle here. It looks like NosAriGaDDo had the right idea, but bad execution and caused this fight to be really, really one-sided. It was almost even food battles, but NosAriGaDDo just overcommitted, wasn't on attack move. Force fields were able to split off all of those Roaches, and as the Stalkers were focusing down, the Roaches, many of the Roaches in the backfield were unable to engage, giving Extreme the GG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.